I want to say something important. I haven't had a difficult life. Nothing compared to the people that I've sat with over the last 30 odd years. My stories are not life-threatening or debilitating or violent even, but for a long time I didn't give them enough credit because compared to others I'd had it easy, or so I thought. And the thing is, your thread doesn't have to be this dramatic, traumatic, life-changing event. It just has to be real and it has to be yours. I grew up in a time where girls were told, get married, have kids, live happily ever after. Put others first, be seen, not heard. And I didn't question that, I just did it. And it shaped everything. The choices I made, the things I believed about myself, what I thought I was worth. My nana passed away when I was 11. She was 62. I thought that was old. Sitting here now, I know it's not. She was the best fun. She was comforting, she was warm. And when she died, it really hit me. I remember a rush trip to the hospital. My siblings and I were told to sit in the car. Mum and Dad went inside. I was 11. My siblings were 9, 7, 5. And nothing was said. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know what was going on. And it was never discussed after. Nothing about grief. We just got on with things. Life went on. That's what you did back then. Then again, fast forward 7 years, at age 18, 2 of my best friends died in a car crash. One was my first love and his best mate. 2 church services, 2 burials, 1 day. Not something that I would ever wish on anyone. If you've never had to do that, I hope you never do. And again, I managed, I cried, I recognised what happened, I grieved a little, and then I got on with life. All good strategies until they aren't. That became my way, just get on with it. Something painful would happen, and I'd keep moving forward, keep going, do what needed to be done. And then I got really good at that. And then I started studying personality profiles and behavioural science, neuroscience, mindset, all sorts of things. I even went to India for 6 weeks and sat in an ashram and meditated, did yoga. And I came back wiser, more aware, calmer even. And I thought I was processing. I wasn't. I was getting better at moving through pain though, without feeling it. And then there was this one day, I was driving. I'd just been told that my contract wasn't going to be renewed. And driving home, it just sort of hit me. I was feeling lost and confused and devastated. And I'm like, wow, these are feelings I've felt before. So I pulled over and I just sat there in the moment, processing and feeling. I've felt this before. Not this exact situation, but these feelings. I felt them at 11, I'd felt them at 18, I felt them after my marriage breakup, I felt them every time something I loved was taken away from me before I was ready. The situations were all different and the feelings were all the same. And this was my thread. And I used to think life was like a pendulum, back and forth, happy, sad, good, bad, stable, spinning. And when it was spinning, it just kept going, and it would go faster and faster, because as long as it's spinning, it didn't fall over. That was me. As long as I was doing something, I wasn't falling apart. But then you miss everything in life when you're spinning. You miss the happy moments, the good times, and eventually it does slow down and you do topple. And what I've learned is that the faster you can connect the dots, the faster you can see what's happening in your life, you can come back to center, calm down and move forward in your own time at a good pace. Not a pendulum, not swinging out of control, not a spinning top, but a metronome. You know, you set the beat, you set the pace, and you take back the rhythm of your own life. That's what Threadwork gave me. When I finally named it and my thread, I was in my 40s and I was shocked. I was unaware that it was sitting there, and I was unaware what it was, because suddenly I could see every moment in my life where the same feeling had come up, and even I could predict where that feeling would come again in situations, different ages, different people, but the same feeling. And there's a relief in that, and a grief, because when you name what you feel, you're sort of losing part of yourself. That part that was defined by not knowing, that's okay. It's still there. It just sits differently, looser, freer, kinked instead of twisted, maybe. And once that knot loosens within you, the whole thread breathes. You just don't have to undo every knot. You just have to start with the first one, and then that starts it all. It loosens them all. And that's what I want to help you find, the first knot. I'm not going to name my thread. In fact, just before I started doing these videos, I cleared another knot. I was really anxious about doing videos. And when I sat with that for a moment, something came up and the process started working. And I realized what the thread was running, where it started, how it stopped me. And here I am doing videos. So I'm not ashamed of it, but because the moment I name it, it becomes mine. And I want you to find yours, because your thread is running right now. Underneath whatever it is that brought you here today, you already know it's there. You can feel it. You could probably even recognize times when it's shown up. And maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in your gut, maybe like me, it's tingling in your toes, like when I was on the mule in Petra. But that's the loose end, and we can find it and shift everything. Check it out at mythreadwork.com.